They say the worst kind of pain isn't being lied to. It's realizing you meant everything to someone who meant nothing to you. Let me ask you something. Have you ever loved someone so deeply, so selflessly, only to find out you were just their backup plan? The emotional safety net. The just in case. Comment yes or no below. Let's see how many of us have felt the sting of being someone's second choice. And if this story resonates with you even a little, like, subscribe, and stick around. I used to think love was loyalty, sacrifice, patience. I thought if I poured enough into someone, if I supported their dreams, gave them consistency, showed up, that would be enough. I'm Branson. 29. I write code for a living, back-end dev at a mid-sized tech company in Austin. Nothing flashy, but I'm good at it. Reliable. Quiet. Solid. And for the last 2.5 years, I thought I was building something real with Emily Ventura. She's 27. Lifestyle blogger. If you've ever seen someone post a perfect cappuccino shot with the caption Monday mood. Yeah, that's her. Emily has this magnetism. Like, when she walks into a room, people look, even if they don't want to. She's charming in this effortless way. The kind of woman who knows exactly when to tilt her head during a story to keep you listening. I fell hard. She had this dream, building a brand, getting sponsorships, becoming a name. And I believed in her. She didn't make much when we first got together, and that was fine. So I stepped up. I helped with everything. Paid the rent, covered groceries, took her to brunch spots she could review on Instagram. I shot her content. I edited it when she was tired. I even learned Lightroom just to help her posts pop. Every brand deal she landed felt like our win. Because I thought we were a team. I'd come home from work and she'd be on the couch, typing away about skincare routines and self-worth. And I'd kiss her on the forehead like her grind was just as exhausting as mine. Maybe it was. I didn't question it. Then there were the girls. Her circle. Macy Adkins, Emily's ride or die. Loud, opinionated, the type that always had something slick to say about me. She once called me Mr. Reliable like it was an insult. Then there's Elena Wall and Kelsey Hess, two carbon copies of each other. Influencer types. Plastic smiles. They always treated me like the lighting guy. They're to hold the ring light and shut up. I never fit in with them. But I wasn't dating them. I was dating Emily. And when you're in love, you overlook a lot. Like how the laughter from the other room stops when you walk in. Or how your name gets left out of the captions, on purpose. The only person who ever kept it real with me was Lawrence Gillespie, my coworker and closest friend. He'd joke sometimes. You sure she's in this for you, man? Or the lifestyle? I'd laugh. Tell him not to be cynical. Tell him she loved me. Because I truly believed. She did. Until one night. I found out exactly what I was to her. And everything I'd built? It was never real to begin with. I wasn't supposed to be home that night. Kylo McBride and Randy Ross, two of my closest friends from work, we were heading out to a tech conference in Denver. 3 days. Some panels, some networking, a little time away from the grind. I had my bags packed, charger coiled, even brought a power bank for the airport. But the universe had other plans. Our flight got delayed. Then delayed again. Then canceled outright due to some storm systems sweeping in from the Rockies. We joked about it at first, grabbing a drink near our gate. But by the time we realized we weren't leaving that night, it was already after 8. Kylo headed back to his girl's place. Randy Ubered to his brother's. And me? I figured, hey, silver lining, I could surprise Emily. She'd mentioned having a small girls' night at our place. Said Macy and a few of her friends were coming over to relax, sip wine, maybe watch a movie. So I thought, why not swing by the corner shop, grab a bottle of red, and pop in to say hi. Nothing big. Just a sweet gesture. A little hey, I didn't fly out, so now I get to see your beautiful face tonight kind of thing. I remember pulling into the driveway and seeing a few cars parked out front. Recognized Macy's Range Rover. Kelsey's little blue Audi. One I didn't recognize. Later, I'd find out it belonged to Isaac McCormick, some photographer friend Emily had started working with. I didn't want to just walk through the front and interrupt. So I looped around through the side gate, figuring I'd make my way onto the patio and surprise them with the wine. That's when I heard it. The laughter. Loud. Unfiltered. Wine-drunk kind of loud. They were on the back patio, and I could see their silhouettes through the outdoor curtain Emily always insisted gave it a romantic touch. I was about to announce myself when I heard her voice, Emily's, cut through the noise. Slurring slightly. Playful. But sharp. He thinks I actually love him. He's just my backup plan, in case the real thing doesn't work out. Laughter. Real, unrestrained, stomach-clutching laughter. Macy shrieked the loudest. Kelsey choked on her wine. Elena gasped and cackled. Even Isaac let out a smug chuckle. And me? I stood there, just still. I didn't breathe. I couldn't. It was like my entire nervous system hit a wall. I wasn't even sure I heard her right. But then she kept going. I mean, come on, I fake smile through dinner. He thinks I'm building something real. Bless his heart. More laughter. Macy added. Girl, you're evil. Emily giggled. No, I'm just strategic. Strategic. She called using me strategic. I clutched the wine bottle in my hand so tight I thought it might crack. My mouth went dry. My heart pounded in my ears like a war drum, but my feet, they didn't move. I don't know how long I stood there. Seconds? Minutes? I heard them change topics, gossiping about another influencer, planning a content trip to Tulum. But those words. He's just my backup plan. They stuck like glue to my bones. She wasn't joking. I could tell by the way she said it. It was casual. Comfortable. Like something she'd said before. Like something she believed. I should have burst through the curtain, shouted, demanded an explanation, shattered the illusion right then and there. But I didn't. I turned. Walked back through the gate. Got in my car. And drove. No lights. No music. No sound. Just silence. And the feeling of something sacred collapsing in my chest. I didn't go home. I couldn't. I parked 2 blocks down in an empty lot, turned off the engine, and stared at the dashboard for what felt like hours. The wine bottle sat in the passenger seat like a ghost. She was inside laughing. And I was out here unraveling. Everything I believed about our relationship. The late nights editing her content, the meals I cooked while she worked on captions, the money I poured into her dream. None of it mattered. Because I wasn't her partner. I was the backup. The plan B. The just in case. I don't remember crying. But I remember shaking. And the sickest part? Even after hearing all of that, a part of me still wanted her to love me. Still wanted it to be wrong. But it wasn't. And I knew it. So I pulled out my phone. Opened a new note. Typed 2 words. Stay quiet. Because sometimes the loudest revenge is silence. I didn't go home that night. I couldn't. Instead, I drove through the empty streets, no music, no GPS, no destination. Just headlights and heartbreak. Around 1 a.m., I pulled up outside Lawrence Gillespie's apartment. No warning. No call. Just showed up. He opened the door in pajama pants and a hoodie, rubbing sleep from his eyes. But the moment he saw my face, he knew. Didn't ask questions. Just stepped aside and said, "Come in, man." I sat down on his couch, stared at the floor for a long time. He handed me a glass of water. I didn't touch it. Then, finally, I said it. She said I was her backup plan. Lawrence blinked, slow. What? I repeated it, voice like gravel. She told her friends, she fakes everything. That I'm just her fallback if the real guy doesn't work out. He didn't respond right away. He just sat back, exhaled, and said, "Damn." I told him everything. The laughter. The whine. The way her words didn't even sound like a joke. And then, he said the most important thing anyone could have said in that moment. Don't react yet. Don't blow it up. Play dumb. Be smart. And that was the moment the storm stopped raging outside of me. And started forming inside. Because he was right. As much as I wanted to scream, to confront her, to break every wine glass in the house. What I needed was clarity. Proof. Power. So I went back the next morning. Calm. Collected. Oscar-worthy. She was still asleep on the couch when I walked in. Hair messy, makeup smudged, surrounded by half-empty bottles. I kissed her forehead like I always did and whispered. Flight got cancelled. She mumbled something about being hungover. Didn't even ask where I'd been. Didn't care. And so, just like that, the game began. Over the next few days, I became the boyfriend she pretended I was online. Attentive. Sweet. Devoted. But behind the curtain, I was collecting. Storing. Saving. It started with her laptop. She always left it open when she got up to pee or grab a drink. I'd casually sit beside her, pretend to scroll my phone. Meanwhile, I watched. She was messaging someone. Constantly. I clicked the name when she left the room. Atrus McDaniel. I'd heard his name before. She claimed he was just a brand consultant, someone helping her scale her online store. But the messages said otherwise. When are we going to stop pretending? He still has no idea. It's actually kind of sad. One more brand deal and I'll be out of there. Screenshots. Every word. Saved. Backed up. Secured. Then came the credit card statements. Emily had access to one of my accounts, something we agreed on early on when her income was unstable. I pulled up the statements. Scrolled. $198 to a lingerie boutique in Soho. $372 to a hotel downtown, one we'd never stayed at. $63 Uber ride to a location 15 minutes from our apartment at 1:42 a.m. More screenshots. More evidence. Every line item was another crack in the version of her I had built up in my mind. But the final blow? Her phone. I had seen her passcode 100 times. She never thought to change it. She was too confident. While she showered, I unlocked it. Went to her voice memos. She used them to record Instagram drafts. But tucked in there were 2 voice notes from a call she made to Macy Adkins. She didn't know how voice recording works on her own device. But I did. I played them on mute and read the transcripts. Heard her giggling, mocking my gifts, saying I was like a puppy, so eager to please. Heard Macy tell her that Atrus was hotter, more successful, and had real man energy. Heard Emily say she couldn't wait to be done with me. I exported the files. Labeled the folder, Ventura Files. Send it to myself. Private. Encrypted. Cloud secured. And that's when something inside me shifted. I stopped shaking. Stopped crying. Stopped hoping. And started planning. No more confusion. No more self-blame. No more wondering if I'd misread something. The storm wasn't chaos anymore. It had direction. I was done being the fool she pitied. Now I was the man she'd underestimated. And soon, she'd realize her mistake. Not with yelling. Not with revenge porn or online shame. But with the kind of precision that leaves someone sitting alone in silence. wondering when, exactly, they lost everything. And by the time Emily figured it out, I'd already be gone. By the time I'd gathered everything, the screenshots, the voice memos, the receipts, I knew what I had wasn't just a pile of proof. It was a loaded weapon. Not one meant to hurt, but to protect. So, I made a call. Dahlia Bentley. Top tier, no-nonsense attorney. Recommended by Lawrence, who'd said, if anyone can help you disappear legally, it's her. I sat across from her in this warm, wood-paneled office. She didn't blink once while I walked her through the situation. Didn't flinch at the details. When I finished, she looked me dead in the eyes and said, "Good. You haven't confronted her. That's smart. Let's keep it that way." We weren't married, so things were simpler on paper. But Emily had access to my bank account, my name on deliveries, my credit card tied to her lifestyle. Dahlia helped me draft the paperwork to revoke everything quietly. She walked me through the digital tools I'd need to block, secure, encrypt. Taught me how to move like a ghost. Don't just disappear, she said. Erase the tracks while you're still standing on them. So that's what I did. The next day, I called our leasing office. Our lease was due to renew in 6 weeks. The apartment was in my name. I told the manager I wouldn't be extending. No explanation. Just paperwork. "Will your partner be renewing with you?" they asked. "No," I replied. "She'll be moving, too." Back home, I started pulling away. Digitally. Photo by photo, post by post. I began removing every trace of us from my Instagram. The anniversary dinner. The surprise date night she planned using my money. The post she forced me to write under her sponsored beachwear photo, "so it feels authentic," she'd said. Gone. I archived each image slowly. Not all at once. Just enough to avoid suspicion. And then, I opened a folder on my desktop. Titled it, Plan B. Inside, 36 screenshots of texts between Emily and Atrus. 8 bank statements. 3 voice recordings. A scanned copy of the lease cancellation. A timeline labeled, Truth Performance. All backed up in 2 separate clouds and 1 encrypted hard drive. Meanwhile, Emily started noticing. Not the folder. Not the finances. But, me. She started doing things she hadn't done in months. Making breakfast. Wearing that green silk robe I once told her I loved. Leaning her head on my shoulder while we watched Netflix, even though she used to scroll through TikTok the whole time. And the biggest red flag in disguise? She stopped bringing up scaling her brand altogether. That Wednesday morning, she brought me coffee in bed, hazelnut creamer, just the way I like it. She curled up next to me, kissed my cheek, and said, "You've been distant lately, babe. Everything okay?" I didn't flinch. Didn't blink. Didn't show my cards. "Just tired," I said. She smiled, nodded. "I get it. You've been working a lot. I appreciate you, you know that?" I looked at her then. Really looked. She meant it. But not because she loved me. She was sensing the shift. The tilt and the balance of power. The silence. The calm. And she couldn't figure out why. She didn't know that the man sitting across from her was no longer her backup plan. I was the countdown. And she didn't even hear the ticking. She walked in expecting the lights to be on. Expecting the scent of vanilla candles and the hum of the air purifier she always insisted I leave on. She expected me to be in the living room, maybe half asleep, maybe scrolling through my phone, waiting to ask how the party went. But when Emily got home that night, none of that was there. No lights. No couch. No framed photos. No us. Just a hollow shell of an apartment, 4 walls and echoes. I had already been gone for hours. She jiggled the door handle a second time. Then a third. Then started pounding. I imagine she thought it was a mistake at first, wrong key, stuck lock, maybe a jam. Then confusion turned to irritation. Then panic. Her voice, muffled through the hallway, was sharp and escalating. Branson? Branson? What the hell is going on? Why won't my key work? She called. The name lit up my phone. I waited, took a breath, then answered. What's going on? She barked. I kept my voice low, level. Check your inbox. What? Branson, are you seriously? I said check. Your inbox. Silence. Then rustling. Then a beat of stillness. I imagined her thumb tapping, the screen lighting up, her eyes scanning the new message I'd sent. There it was. A single line of text. Backup plans don't come with full benefits. Attached below, a .zip folder titled Venture_plan_B. Inside. A folder labeled Truth. Screenshots of her conversations with Atrus McDaniel, some from our couch, some while I was at work, some while I was literally paying for her DoorDash. Voice memos where she laughed about faking intimacy. Itemized bank charges, lingerie, hotel stays, Uber rides. And a final document, a detailed timeline of every lie she told while I loved her without question. She never responded to the email. She didn't have to. I heard it in the way her voice cracked as she left a voicemail not 10 minutes later. Branson, please, can we talk? Please. I didn't mean any of it like that. You know me. You know me. But I didn't. Because the version of her I had known? She died the night I stood behind that patio curtain and heard her call me her backup plan. I blocked her. And then I logged into Instagram. Posted a farewell thread to my story. Plain white background. Black text. No tags. When you find out you were never the plan. Swipe. When love is real, it doesn't make you question your worth. Swipe. Screenshots don't lie. Faces are blurred. But if you know, you know. Swipe. Love out loud. Lie in silence. Eventually, silence gets exposed. 4 slides. No drama. No names. But everyone knew. Macy saw it first, read all 4 and didn't even wait to message me. Bran, what is this? Is this about M? I left her on read. Kelsey commented on my last archived post before she unfollowed Emily. Just 3 words. Damn. You knew. And then. The dominoes started to fall. Atrus ghosted her completely. Unfollowed her. Deleted his highlight reels where they appeared in the same rooftop group shots. One of her brand partners, Dyer Skincare, pulled a deal hours after I posted. Their statement was short. We value integrity and transparency in all our collaborations. Ouch. By Sunday morning, Emily had lost nearly 12,000 followers. And counting. It wasn't just the cheating. It was the image. Her fans had bought into a narrative. Of a sweet girl building her dream with a loving partner by her side. Of hard work. Of loyalty. Of balance. But now? Now she looked like the villain in a story people didn't know they were watching. And the internet doesn't forgive quietly. I didn't reply to any of her friends. Didn't acknowledge the cryptic quote she posted to her story. People love to twist things when they don't have the full truth. Real ones know my heart. Lessons come in disguise. They weren't lessons. They were consequences. By Monday, she texted me again from a different number. Can we please just talk face to face? One conversation. I'm begging. I didn't respond. Instead, I scrolled through the file one more time. Saw the receipts. Heard her voice. The same voice that once whispered I love you under dimmed lights now laughing about using me. And I knew. That shock on her face? That's what it feels like when the curtain finally falls. When the performance ends. And the audience walks away. No applause. No encore. Just the truth. And the silence that follows it. A month after I walked away from that apartment, I signed the lease on a small studio about 20 minutes from downtown. No fancy rooftop. No smart fridge. No accent walls. Just 4 clean walls, a kitchen that worked, and a window that caught the sunrise. It wasn't much. But it was mine. For the first time in years, I could hear my own thoughts in the morning. No influencer reels blasting from a ring light. No scramble to get perfect lighting for a sponsored post. Just quiet. Real quiet. The kind that doesn't make you feel alone. Just peaceful. I unpack slowly. Box by box. Memory by memory. I didn't rush to replace the couch or upgrade the place. Didn't start dating. Didn't download the apps. I just let myself be still. And somewhere in that stillness, I ran into her. Aliana Dyer. It was at this cozy little cafe I used to visit when I was still with Emily. A tucked-away spot with chalkboard menus, messy tables, and the best lavender tea in the city. Aliana was there, same as always, tucked in the corner by the bookshelf. She was sketching something in a leather-bound notebook, her curls tied up in a loose knot, a pencil behind her ear. She looked up when I passed, and her smile was soft. Familiar. We used to talk briefly, little nods and hellos. One time, I told her I liked the way she shaded her cityscapes. She laughed and said, "You notice details. That's rare." That day, she asked if I wanted to join her. I said yes. No hesitation. We didn't talk about the past. Not right away. She didn't ask. She just listened. Listened in a way Emily never did. Not to respond. Not to judge. Just to hear me. And I needed that more than I realized. We've gone on a few walks since. Coffee. Long talks about art and music and how people try to perform love before they understand it. We're not rushing. No labels. Just presence. Peace. Then, about 2 months after I moved out, I came home one afternoon and saw something tucked under my door. A card. No envelope. Just folded paper. My name written on the front in handwriting I knew too well. Inside, it said, "You really were too good for me. I just didn't know how to love someone who loved me right. Emily." I stared at it for a long time. Didn't cry. Didn't smile. Just understood. Some people don't want love. Not really. They want the idea of it. They want attention. Control. A stage. But love? Love is showing up. Every day. Even when no one's watching. Emily thought I was her backup plan. Someone to fall back on if her dream life didn't work out. But what she didn't realize was that I wasn't a placeholder. I was the whole damn lesson. And the only reason it took so long for her to learn it was because I kept giving her the answers. Until I didn't. So if you're listening to this, if you've ever felt like someone's backup, like their safety net, like the one they come back to only after they've ruined all their other options, I hope you hear me now. You are not a backup. You are not plan B. You are not an option. You are the one who gets to choose. And when you finally do, they'll never see it coming. Have you ever been made to feel like someone's second option, like a backup, not a partner? Drop a yes or no in the comments. And if this story hit too close to home, like, share, and subscribe. Because healing sometimes starts with hearing someone else's truth.